that we do Yahusha service and bringing out His Word, and pray that the Spirit be in the lesson too. And it's going to be a two-part type of lesson. So it's going to be how the millennial reign is going to be, how everybody's going to be in the millennial reign. First, we're going to start on how the Gentiles, or how their millennial reign experience is going to be. And tomorrow we're going to talk about how the Hebrew Israelites' millennial reign is going to be. It's going to be a detailed lesson. Because I know a lot of people, they don't understand the details of the kingdom, and they just say, "I'm going to heaven," and that's not true. Nobody's going to heaven, technically speaking. That too. So the kingdom is coming down to earth. So heaven is still going to be heaven, and New Jerusalem is coming down. So a lot of people are confused about that, but we're going to get into that, and we're going to talk about how it's going to look for each group. And again, we're going to start with the Gentiles, how the Gentiles or millennial reign is going to be. Because I know a lot of churches, they practice the doctrine of once you are saved by Christ, you are now drafted in as a Hebrew Israelite, and that's not what the Bible says. The Bible don't say everybody still keep their race, their ethnicity, when they get saved by the blood of Christ. And that your sins change and your behaviors change, but your ethnicity still remains the same. So just going to clear up a lot of things, and give out the gospel. I'm going to pray Yah be in the lesson and go out with truth and sincerity. We first want to start I'm going to start by moving this fan. There we go. Trying to get to maximize air. We're going to first start in Matthew chapter 25, and this whole lesson is going to be on the Gentile experience in the millennial reign. Matthew 25, verse 31 to 34. (25) 31 to 34. Okay. So this is all about when Christ is coming and He's setting up His kingdom and going starting His millennial reign from the Gentile perspective right here. Verse 31 to 34. When the Son of Man shall come in His glory, and all the holy angels with Him, then shall He set angels with Him, then shall He set upon the throne of His glory, and before Him shall be gathered all nations, and He shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. This is a key thing right here, because a lot of people, again, a lot of people have been mistaught. Again, once you come to Christ, a lot of people say, well, I am a Jew because I'm covered by the blood of Christ. It's not what it says. It's right here. It clearly says when Christ comes, He's going to look at all nations and He's going to separate them. So if there's nations, that means there's still ethnicities. Everybody's not a Jew or a Hebrew Israelite. If you were born Mexican, you're going to be a Mexican. If you were born Caucasian, you're going to be Caucasian. If you was born Asian, you're going to be Asian. Your ethnicity don't change that. Vice versa for Hebrew Israelites. They were born Hebrew Israelites, that's what they are. So I'm just pointing it out. So one of the first things He's going to do is He's going to divide the nations, one from another, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. And He shall set the sheep on His right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the King say unto them on His right hand, Come, ye blessed of your father inherit the kingdom. And this is double meaning here. It's also talking about the righteous of all the nations. He's going to separate them too, because it's going to be a separation by nation, but also by ethnicity. And we're going to go into it for reasons why later on. Ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Okay, so this is just one of the first acts that he's going to do. Separate the nation, separate the wicked. And we'll go to Isaiah 56, 1 to 8. Isaiah 56, 1 to 8. And about time we're done with the lesson, everything is going to be understood. It's a very detailed lesson. Isaiah 56, 1 to 8. Thus said Yah, keep ye judgment, and do justice, for my salvation is near to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. Blessed is the man that doeth this, and the son of man that layeth hold on it. And just to emphasize on this again, just to point this out, this is for Gentiles who have made the cut. This ain't talking about wicked Gentiles, because they going to hell. We talking about, this lesson is over Gentiles that did what they needed to do. They submitted to the Most High through Christ. So that this is what this is talking about. Blessed is the man that doeth this, and the son of man that layeth hold on it, that keepeth the Shabbat from polluting it. That man across the street, that they had a church across the street, nearly every Shabbat he out there cutting his grass. Blessed is them that keepeth the Shabbat from polluting it. Every week he get his grass freshly cut for Sunday worship next day. Yeah, around 3 o'clock. I don't think he's gonna be. He better change his ways if you want to make this cut. That keepeth the Shabbat from polluting it, and keepeth his hand from doing any evil. Neither let the son of the stranger, so this is the strangers, the Gentiles, that have joined himself to Yah. See what has happened here? Ethnicity has not changed. It's your mannerisms, and you have been redeemed by Christ to Holy Yah. That's it. You're still keeping your ethnicity. That ain't changed. Neither let the son of the stranger that has joined himself to Yah speak, saying, Yah hath utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree. For thus said Yah unto the eunuchs that keep my Shabbats, and choose the things that please me, and take hold of my covenant. Even unto them will I give in mine house, and within my walls, a place and a name better than of sons and of daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. Also the sons of the strangers, talking about the Gentiles, the heathens, that join themselves to Yah, the Gentiles who have separated from the world, from Satan, and really seeking the Most High through Christ. This is what he's going to give you, because everybody got their own particular blessings. Also, the sons of the stranger that joined themselves to Yah to serve him and to love the name of Yah, to be his servants, every one that keepeth the Shabbat from polluting it, and taketh hold of my covenant, even them will I bring my holy mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifice shall be accepted upon mine altar. For mine house shall be called an house of prayer for all people. I'm going to emphasize on this a little bit throughout the lesson, because a lot of people have the misunderstanding. Well, I'm made a new creature and now I'm a Jew. No, the Bible don't say that. You know, a lot of people, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but a lot of people in these churches, they say once they have been converted, they are a Jew, and I'm a Jew, we the same. Ethnicity don't change. It's your spirit in you that change. Whatever you was born, whatever on your birth certificate, that's what you are, you know what I'm saying? That's what you are, you know. DNA don't change. That is what it is. Verse 8, at the end of verse 7, for my house shall be called a house of prayer for all people, all nations, even the Gentiles. Yah, which gathered the outcasts of Israel, saith, yet will I gather others unto him. Who are the others Zion are supposed to gather to Yah? The Gentiles. Besides those that are gathered unto him, who are the ones that are gathered to Yahusha HaMashiach? The Hebrew Israelites. And the Hebrew Israelites are to gather the other nations to him. Okay? Verse 3. Revelations chapter 5. Revelations chapter 5, 2, verse 2, verse 9, verse 8. Revelation chapter 5, verse 2, verse 5, verse 9. You can go, if you want to read the full, I'm just going to the key points to cut some of the time down. Alright, this is verse 2, 5, and 9. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loosen the seals thereof? Verse 5. And one of the elders said upon me, weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loosen the 7 seals thereof. Verse 9. And they sung a song, saying, thou art worthy to open the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to Yah by the blood of every kindred. Kindreds is the Hebrew Israelites. Every tongue and people, nations, and nations. So Yahusha HaMashiach has redeemed those, the wise Gentiles, that submitted to him and loved him and worshipped him. And now they singing a song. This is the start of his millennial reign. Revelations chapter 7, verse 9 to 10. Revelation 7, 9 to 10. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations, including the Gentiles, and kindreds, these are the Hebrew Israelites, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So the Gentiles are going to be given white robes with palms in their hands before Yahusha HaMashiach, and cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our Yah, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb, Yahusha HaMashiach. Now we're going to go to Revelations chapter 11, 1 to 2. This is how the Gentiles are going to be in the millennial reign, of Christ's millennial reign. Revelations 11, 1 to 2. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, rise and measure the temple of Yah, and the altar, and them that worship therein. But, see how, this is about paying the details. A lot of people go to the scriptures, they don't want to pay the details, don't matter. And this is a detailed thing right here. But the court which is without the temple, if you go research the temple, there was where Yah said the holies of holies was in the inner temple, and then there was an outer temple, a lot of people are not understanding that the inner temple, that's where the Most High's people is going to be, the Hebrew Israelites. But in the outer temple, the outer court, somebody else is going to be. But the court which without the temple, leave out and measure sure it not. For it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under feet 42 months. So you see how it is. The Gentiles, the scriptures is telling what are going to be given to the Gentiles that obey and submit to Yah through Yahusha HaMashiach. They get the outer court. Revelations 21, verse 9 to 12 and 24 to 27. Revelations chapter 21, verse 9 to 12, 24 to 27. Verse 9, and there came unto me one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials full of the 7 last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the Kadesh, holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from Yah. And a lot of people, people say, oh, I'm going to heaven. No, nobody's going to heaven. The kingdom that is prepared in heaven is coming down. You still here. Your grandma's still there. Where is she buried at? That's where she at. That's it. And when Christ come to judge everybody, that's where she's going to get up and get judged from. You know that ain't nobody. I know they in heaven. No, they not in heaven. Yahusha HaMashiach in heaven. You know what I'm saying? Your grandmother, your grandfather, they not. Whether they be good or bad. Having the glory of Yah, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. There's no, this is going to be important later on when I get into it, but this is to emphasize what's given to the Hebrew Israelites and what's given to the Gentiles. The kingdom is not given, New Jerusalem is not given to the Gentiles. It's given to Zion, and we're going to see how this is played out later. Now, we're going to look 24 to 27. And the nations of them which are saved, there we go with nationality. Just because you come to Christ, you don't lose your nationality. You still keep that. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it. And the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. They're going to bring their sacrifices. They're going to bring their offerings to the Yahusha HaMashiach. Just like we was reading in Isaiah 56. When they said he's going to accept their offerings. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there. And there shall bring glory and honor of the nations into it. So the Gentiles, it's talking about Gentiles. And there shall, this is to 27. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination, or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. And these are the Gentiles who are submitting to Yah's will fully. They not profaning the Shabbat by cutting grass on the Shabbat to go get ready for their Sunday worship. They're not eating pork. All Gentiles that are eating pork won't come into the temple. All the Gentiles that are homosexuals, all the Gentiles that are doing any type of abomination thing, they will not be accepted in the temple. Revelations chapter 22, 1 to 2. And he showed me a pure river of water of life. I've been looking for this all my life. A water of life. Clear as, I'm not joking, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of Yah and of the Lamb. In the midst thereof the street of it, and on either side of the river was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits. See, a lot of people mess up on this too, because a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't wait to eat off the tree, the tree of life." Hold on, details matter. Which bear 12 manners of fruits, and yield her fruits every month. Now, it bear 12 manner of fruits, and there's 12 tribes. Who do you think the fruit for? And the leaves. Now, this is what's the Gentiles portion. You remember, the Gentiles don't come into the inner court. They have the outer court made for them. The Gentiles, the fruit is for Zion, the 12 manner of fruit. But the leaves off the tree of life and the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations, the Gentiles. Not the fruit, because that's for his elect children. But for the Gentiles that serve him and love him, he has this for them. You know, and I hope nobody's bitter about eating leaves off the tree of life. Give them leaves. Like, when you take your, you get up out of here. And we're going to talk about that too. You know, some leaves, you know. But, because that's what happened with Satan. Satan's prideful. Satan say, I want to sit on the throne. And that's a humbling thing for Gentiles. Like, I got to humble myself down and play my part and get the blessings. You know, it's not like, you know, y'all going to leave you in the dumpster or something. You know, he got you eating off the tree light. That's a big deal.
Yes, it is.
You know, like, even the bark, you get the bark, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's why it's only going. That's why it takes humility, even on Zion. You know what I'm saying? Zechariah chapter 8. Again, this is talking about the manners that the things that are going to that the Gentiles are going to experience in the millennial reign when Christ returns. Zechariah chapter 8. Verse 1 to 3 and verse 13. Zechariah chapter 8, 1 to 3. Again the word of Yah of hosts came to me, saying, Thus saith Yah of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with a great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury. Thus said Yah, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. Because there's even a lot of Gentiles out here who even mock him. He left his people. He don't want to do no more. He chose us. That's that pride. That's pride right there. Right here he just said, I was jealous of them with great fury. Thus said Yah, I am returned unto Zion. Not returned unto the Gentiles, because he never left the Gentiles to come back. Like, he left who? He left Zion. And will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of Yah of hosts, the holy mountain. Verse 13. And it shall come to pass that as ye were a curse among the heathen, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you. And, check this out, because a lot of Gentiles don't realize how important the need of Zion is to them. Gentiles need Zion a whole lot. It's very important. O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. And who are these? Who are the Hebrews are going to be blessing? Gentiles. Zach 8. No. I'm gonna go to because I'm gonna elaborate on this a little bit. Romans chapter 10, 19. Because as we read the first part of that, we read that he says, I had a great jealousy, but I am returned back to you.
You said 10 and 13?
Yes. For which one?
Romans.
No, Romans is chapter 10 and verse 19. Because just like Zion, well, let me start. Just like Satan got in trouble for pride, just like Zion got in trouble for pride, and that prideful spirit is coming to a lot of Gentiles because they talk like this. This is verse 19. Well, yeah. But I say, did not Israel know first Moses said, I will provoke you to jealousy by them that are no people, and by a foolish nation I will anger you? So why did Yahusha begin to start dealing with the Gentiles? To provoke them to jealousy. Gentiles are caught up in a relationship of anger. That, unfortunately, well, I'm about to go hang out with Jimmy the Gentile. Bye, Samantha. The Hebrew, you know what I'm saying? You see what y'all doing over there? He messing with them to bring them what? To jealousy. Now we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 32 and 21 to see how this was even further prophesied where Romans got this from. Deuteronomy 32, 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God, Yah. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. And this line I'm going is to establish of Zechariah chapter 8 when Yah said, I dogged you out because I was jealous of what you was doing to me, dogging me out. Now we're going to go to Romans chapter 11, verse 1 to 2. Romans chapter 11, 1 to 2. Romans chapter 11, verse 1 to 2. I say then, hath Yah cast away his people? Yah forbid. Because a lot of people, they go into the scripture, well, I'm grafted in, and and it is what it is. That's Yah never cast away his people. They moved him to jealousy. Yah forbid, for I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. Yah hath not cast away his people, which he foreknew. Want ye not what the scripture saith of Elijah, how he maketh intercession to Yah against Israel? Saying, I'm not going to read the rest of that, but this is just to further the point of Yah never left his people. And because I see a lot of Gentiles, they get boastful, like Zion's done away with, and he's with the Gentiles now. You know, the only disciple that was really and wasn't part of the 12 disciples who was really going to the Gentiles was Paul. You know, everybody else was commanded to go to the Hebrew Israelites. So you can't just run on Paul writings when he himself say, "Hey, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and he ain't never left us." You know, because Paul is establishing that. And I'm just making this clear. And then I'm gonna go to one more over here. Where I bear covenant, where is it? Let me get it. Boast not. It's gonna be in Romans. Romans chapter 11 and 18. Now this is to the Gentiles, because I'm just trying to, while I'm on this section of the scriptures right here, because I don't want to see Gentiles get in trouble, because you're going to get in trouble for this boasting stuff, for them that do this, because it's the same thing that Satan was doing. Satan had that prideful spirit. Same thing Zion was doing. Zion had that prideful spirit. Verse 18, boast not against the branches, but if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but root thee. Thou wilt say then, the branches were broken off. That's what a lot of Gentiles, I hear a lot of Gentiles say, well, Yah's done away with Jesus, and God ain't done away with them no good Israelites. Whoa, Yah just mad at them no good Israelites. Watch your mouth. You don't want to get in between two people in a relationship and you're going to talk about, yeah, she is no good. What about if they get back together? You know, she said you were no good. Yeah, or he said you were no good. What, they both going, after they make up their relationship, they're going to be mad at you and you're going to be the outcast. Thou wilt say then, the branches were broken off, that I might be grafted in. Well, because of unbelief they were broken off, and thou standest by faith. Be not high-minded. Be not prideful. Don't say, ha ha ha, you Israelites. Come on, y'all, let's go. He gonna slap you. But fear, for if Yah spared not the natural branches, take heed, lest he spare not thee. So he's saying, they're emphasizing here, Paul's emphasizing, if he didn't spare his own children, that his only begotten, you are, you know what I'm saying, you a friend of the family that Yah is inviting in. So don't boast here, because if he cast away his children, he'll cast away you, no problem. You know what I'm saying? If a man will beat his wife, don't you think he'll beat his girlfriend? You know, or if a woman cheat on her husband, don't you think she'll cheat on her boyfriend? You know, she ain't gonna cheat on me, but she gonna cheat on her husband. He ain't gonna hit me, but he gonna hit his wife. Come on, man. Don't boast. Be fearful, and the point is, be thankful that the door was open. So, okay, I'm moving on. I just want to establish that right there, and especially in Zechariah 8, 1-3, when it says, I am returned to you, Zion. Zechariah chapter 8, 20-23. Zechariah chapter 8, 20-23. Verse 20. Thus said Yah of hosts, it shall come to pass that there shall come people and the inhabitants of many cities, and the inhabitants of one city shall go to another, saying, let us go speedily to pray before Yah, and to seek Yah of hosts. I will go also. Yea, many people and strong nations Again, you don't lose your ethnicity when you come to Christ. You keep it. It's yours. Many strong nations, many Gentiles shall come to seek Yah of hosts in Jerusalem and pray before Yah. Verse 23. Thus said Yah of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, a Hebrew Israelite, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that Yah is with you, the Hebrew Israelites. So this is one thing in the millennial reign that the Gentiles are going to understand. You know him. Why does the Hebrew Israelites know them? Because that's his first begotten people. That's why. That's his beloved. That's his Israel. You know what I'm saying? That's his woman. of course Zion know Yah. But the heathens, the Gentiles, will see that in this time, and some of them even see it in this time right now, but especially in this time, and this is the millennial reign time, they will take the hem of him that is a Jew and say, come on, man, I know you got the good stuff. You got the info. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the 411.
You got the 411. Take me before him so I can get some of them leaves for my healing of my people. You know? But they also go with verse 13, and it says, ye shall be a blessing. Zion shall be a blessing to the Gentiles. Okay, and this is one thing, and this is why the churches are so messed up right now, because a lot of Gentiles are teaching the word. Understand this, y'all had me meditating on that earlier. The reason the church is so messed up, because people who are teaching the Bible weren't instructed to teach the Bible. In verse 23, it then says, one Gentile will lead 10 Gentiles to Yah. It didn't say that. So, if it didn't say that in the future, think about right now. A lot of pastors, I hear a lot of Gentile pastors, man, they don't know what they're talking about. Now, the vast majority, and even Hebrew Israelite pastors who don't know they're Hebrew Israelites, don't know what they're talking about. And how can he part ways with Israel if in the future, in his millennial reign, the Hebrew Israelites that a lot of Gentiles say are cast away, they're going to be your access to Yah. And it's going to take humility, because you best believe there are going to be some pastors, with 10 degrees on the wall and don't mean nothing to Yah. What the?
Don't mean nothing right now.
It don't mean, but it especially ain't going to mean nothing in the future. And some of them pastors are going to say, man, I don't know nothing. All that means nothing. You got the way. Leroy, so-and-so, you know what I'm saying? And Leroy messed around and found out his nationality, repented, started keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. And, he was walking down the street and bam! Come on, Leroy, man, You remember I used to give you some money, Leroy, you know what I'm saying? You remember you was in front of McDonald's? I used to buy you something, you want an egg and muffin, Leroy? Because why? You want to go to the kingdom, You want those blessings. Now we'll go to Isaiah 55, 3, verse 3 to 5. And this is all about the Gentile experience in the millennial reign. Isaiah chapter 55. Because, you got to think about that too. That takes a lot of humility, because I have never heard a Gentile preach on Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23, because that takes humility right there. What you mean I'm going to grab somebody's coattail and they know more than me? That takes a lot of humility, man. That takes a lot of humility. And most of the time, that ain't going to happen. So, but for the wise Gentiles, they're going to be very blessed, Hell has a lot of room. The scriptures say hell has enlarged herself. So hell has a lot of room, you know.
For a whole lot of people.
For a whole lot of people, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to grab the hem of a skirt of a Hebrew Israelite to lead you to Yah, hey man, you know, hell has is wide open. Isaiah chapter 55, 3-5. Incline your ear and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live, and I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Behold, I have given him for a witness to the people, a leader and commander to the people. And we know that's Yahusha Mashiach. Behold, thou shalt call a nation that thou knowest not, and nations that knew not thee shall run unto thee, because of Yah thy Elohim, thy El, and for the Holy One of Israel, for he hath glorified thee. Precept upon precept, lining up with Zechariah chapter 8, it says, a nation that you know not. Come on, Leroy. Take me, Leroy. Take, where the good stuff at, Leroy? Where the leaves at, Leroy? I'm gonna make me some tea out of them leaves. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't making no, you know, you
Hey, however you want to do it, you know what I'm saying? However you want to do it. But this scripture's right here that to further the point that Zion, the Gentiles will run unto Zion in that day of the millennial reign. And it's nothing shameful, nothing like that. You know, you run to, you know, when you looking for safety, you run to the people who got the safety. If somebody's shooting in the building, whether you like cops or not, you see that cop, you gonna run towards the cop, man. You got the gun and everything, you can protect me. You know what I'm saying? And only a fool, you pig, mess no pigs, pop, you dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Yeah, caught that pig on the pop.
Well, now I'm talking about, you know, the person, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Now we're gonna go to Ezekiel 47, verse 1, and we're going to go to 21 to 23 after that. Ezekiel chapter 47, verse 1, and then to verse 21 to 23. Ezekiel 47, verse 1. Afterward, he brought me again unto the door of the house, and behold, waters is issued out from under the threshold of the house eastward, for the forefront of the house stood toward the east, and the waters came down from the right side of the house at the south side of the altar. So these are similar visions that John had in Revelations, talking about the kingdom. You know, when Yahusha Mashiach is sitting in his millennial reign, just to establish that. Now we'll go to verse 21 to 23. So shall ye divide the land unto you according to the tribes of Israel. So the land is going to be divided unto the tribes of Israel. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by lot for an inheritance unto you and to the strangers, and sojourn among you, which shall beget children among you, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. They shall have inheritance with you among the tribes. Christ ain't giving Gentiles the blessings and inheritance. They get their blessings from the Hebrew Israelites. Now verse 23 is going to really emphasize on this, because a lot of people are overlooking Zion and the importance of Zion. And it shall come to pass that in what tribe the stranger, the Gentile, should join it, there shall ye give him inheritance, said Yah. So there are going to be Gentiles in the midst of each tribe of Israel. they're going to be, you know, servants and handmaids. Zion will have servants and handmaids. So this is what this is talking about. And you're going to treat them well, just like Abraham did with his servants. But whatever tribe that Gentiles say, well, I'm gonna be under the house of Gad. I'm gonna be under the house of Judah. I'm gonna be under the house of Levi. Whatever blessing is upon that individual tribe, Yah has commanded Zion, each tribe, give them a piece of your inheritance. So a lot of Gentiles don't know in the millennial reign where their blessings are really going to come from. It's going to come from Leroy. You'll be like, man, I'm so glad I used to buy him coffee and eggs and muffins. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So this is the importance. So Zion is going to lead you to Yah in the millennial reign. Zion, the 12 tribes, is going to give you inheritance of their own inheritance. Very important stuff here. But it's all about roles. It's Yah, Yahusha, angels, man, or Yah, Yahusha, angels, Zion, Gentiles. There's order. It's just not, this and this. Your nationality don't change. And just because Zion is his chosen elect in the millennial reign, that don't mean they're going to be angels. You know what I'm saying? Etc., etc. Now we're going to go to Ephesians chapter 3, verse 1 and verse 6. So the Gentiles here in the millennial reign, Gentiles get their blessings from Zion. Not directly from Yah, but directly from his 12 tribes of Israel. Ephesians chapter 3, verse 1. For this cause I, Paul, the prisoner of Christ, for you Gentiles. Verse 6. That the Gentiles should be fellow heirs. And a lot of Gentiles really missed the mark on this one. There is no difference between Jew or Greek and all this stuff. No. You're going to have part in the inheritance. You're not going to be on the same level, but you're going to have part into the inheritance. That's why the 12 tribes give part of their inheritance to you. It's not, oh, we're in the millennial era and I have what you have and we're equal. No, that's not what the Bible says. The Bible says Zion will give you part of their inheritance. Which tribe you should join to. That the Gentiles should be fellow heirs and of the same body. That's why the scriptures say the one that should join among that tribe, treat them as a homeborn, treat them with respect, with dignity. And partakers, you never lose your tribe, your ethnicity. You're just getting the inheritance of that tribe. You're not taking on their ethnicity. You would say, I am from the house of Gad. I am from the house of Judah. You're not a Hebrew Israelite. And partakers of his promise in Christ by the gospel. Chapter 11. Is that Ephesians chapter 11? No, that can't be it. Did I write that down? Yeah, probably. Maybe 11:2. Verse chapter 3. 11, according to the eternal purpose which proposed the gospel, 20:18 to 21. May be the comprehend of the saints what is the breadth of length of depth of days, and know that the love of Christ which passes knowledge, now is seen in this. Now I'll skip that. So now we're going to move on to Genesis chapter 12, verse 3. Genesis chapter 12, verse 3. Genesis chapter 12, verse 3. And I will bless them, the Gentiles, that bless thee, and curse him, the Gentiles, that curseth thee, the Hebrew Israelites, and in thee, the Hebrew Israelites, shall all families, the Gentiles, of the earth be blessed. So, and best believe we're going to talk about that, the downside of that too, because there are going to be some Gentiles that said, I'm not being in subjection to no Hebrew Israelite. We're going to talk about what's that going to look like in the millennial reign. But this is going to, because the Bible touches on the Gentiles that submit to the Most High and follow His ways and respect His people. And then in the millennial reign, it does talk about the Gentiles that refuse to do that, to honor His people. Now we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 32. Because if he put his own people into slavery for disobedience, man, you gotta be whatever you say, y'all. You want me mouth to flow? Sure, right.
Sure, you right.
Sure. Because it's not, it's not going to be, people are going to be mistreated in the kingdom, it's just going to be levels in the kingdom. Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 8. I'm going to start at verse 7. Remember, chapter 32, verse 7 to 8. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided the nations, and what is Christ coming to do when He come back? Divide the nations, their inheritance. When He separated the sons of Adam, He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. The Most High was just dividing stuff, just to divide that. It was just not. Israel has always been the star of the show, quote unquote. So we all have to accept that. Whether you be, a lot of people like to say, there's neither Jew nor Gentile. Whether you be Jew or Gentile, Greek or whatever, there's something that you must understand. He planned this all out on the basis of the Hebrew Israelites. So to give you your inheritance, now we're going to go to Proverbs 29 and verse 2. Because ain't nothing wrong with staying in a two-story house, in a five-bedroom, two-story house in a millennial reign. Yeah, the Hebrew Israelites gonna be staying in mansions, but hey, ain't nothing wrong with a five-bedroom, two-story house. You know what I'm saying? You get the trees of leaf of life and all that stuff. You can go barbecue. You know what I'm saying? Go have a good time. Ain't nobody gonna shoot you. Ain't nobody, And if there is any trouble, they got 144,000 judges. I mean, enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy yourself. Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, this is what I was just saying about the 144 judges, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So, when Yah, in His millennial reign, comes back, He's going to set up the righteous, which are going to be the Hebrew Israelites, because these are His judges. They're going to police the world, so to speak, on His behalf, and every nation will be happy that worketh in alignment with Yah through Yahusha Mashiach. It's going to be happy, ain't going to be nothing bad, you know what I'm saying? You might not be a Hebrew Israelite. That don't mean your life gonna be horrible. Life gonna be blessed. Now, if you want to be like Lucifer, I just don't like him. I just don't. We're gonna talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Because some people not gonna adjust to that. Revelations chapter 12 verse 5. Revelations chapter 12, verse 5. Revelations chapter 12, verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child. And this is going to be, we're changing gears here right now. Now we're going to see how, so we get how the Gentiles are going to be blessed and how they're going to be living. And from my reading of this is what they're going to be inherited. No, it's not going to be equal as the Hebrew Israelites, but everything that they're being inherited, that's a blessing, man. That's a wonderful life. I can't, you know what I'm saying? It beats your 9 to 5 in this life. You know what I'm saying? Like by leaps and bounds. You know what I'm saying? By leaps and bounds. But now we're going to start talking about how the mannerism of how Yahusha HaMashiach rulership is going to be in this aspect. And I'm going to start off on his mannerisms, and then we're going to talk about, for the Gentiles who get out of line in his millennial reign, what's it going to look like. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule over all nations. Again, I'm going back to that. Just because you come to Christ and repent and all that, that does not mean you lose your nationality. Nations are still going to be on the planet Earth. And then there's going to, the certain nations, the people who follow Christ, yes, they're going to be servants in Jerusalem under the house of particular tribes, but most people are going to be in their own nation. That's just going to be a select Gentiles that are going to be in the kingdom that close and continuously. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron. With the rod of iron, meaning like he ain't playing with you. And her child was caught up unto Yah and to his throne. So I'm bringing this out to set up how his kingdom is going to be a no-nonsense rulership, no-nonsense play. You know what I'm saying? Either you with him or you against him. Revelations chapter 19. Either you with him and he's going to treat you wonderful and great, or you against him and he's going to grind you to dust. I'd rather be eating out the leaves of life, be chilling. Revelations 19 and 15. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. Nationality is going nowhere. There's still going to be nations on the earth in the millennial reign that are tripping. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he trodden the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty Yah. Okay? So he's letting you know the nations that do not want to get in his alignment in righteousness, he's going to trodden them down, and swords are going to go out of his mouth to deal with them. This camera stops every, I don't know what type of camera it is.